Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
I'm Tim Stenevik along with Nora Melinda. Let's take a look at some stocks on the move. Today, we're joined by Bloomberg News Deputy Team Leader for U.S. Equities, Jess Menton. Jess, if you're looking at stocks that are moving lower, wow, you got a lot to choose from.
There is a lot today. And of course, I have to talk about Walmart, just given it's among some of the top decliners in the S&P 500. Also a Dow component. So that's why you've seen that weighing on that. So that stock's down about 5%, so on pace for its worst day since February 20th. It's an interesting story here because when it comes to Walmart, retailers, a big tell on the consumer. So it did have a rare profit miss, and it was actually the first time in 3 years. So that did overshadow some of the strength we saw when it came to higher sales growth. But I wanted to point out, actually coming into this year, Walmart was trading more like a growth stock rather than a value stock. Before it reported its earnings back in February, if you looked over like a 12-month basis, it was up around 70%. So there's only two other Mag 7 stocks that didn't outperform at that time. It was like Nvidia and Tesla. So it's an interesting story just given where its valuation was coming into this year. And obviously back to school shopping season, second most important for retailers ahead, of course, the holiday shopping season. So looking at that, but even though you saw some of this rare profit miss and some of those higher claims, there still was a bright spot when it came to sales. But again, we'll still have others, Ross Stores reporting after the bell. We heard from Target earlier this week. And so keeping a close eye on that. And obviously it's grocery business and how important that is when you're those ties to inflation. And with even some of the tariff issues there, those still are going to take a while for a lot of that to show up in the company's report.
Right. And you really are seeing some weakness here in Walmart shares, down as much as 5.5% in trading today. But when you look at Wall Street, we are still seeing 43 buys, one hold and one sell. So it doesn't seem as though it's too much of a negative shock here quite yet. Talk to us about Coty. You're also keeping an eye there, Jess.
This is quite the drop. So it's down over 21%. The ticker symbol on this is COTY. And also, of course, it's on pace for its worst day, actually, since March of 2020. So this is an important company because it is also in the consumer type of retail space. So beauty and scents type of company. So to put into context for how it's tied to some of these, it's the Rimmel owner. And it actually posted a unexpected quarterly adjusted loss of 5 cents per share. Analysts over at Deutsche Bank, though, they were flagging how that company also faces some transitions here and setbacks from internal executive challenges. But they think that the company can kind of get over potentially that hurdle. But it was, of course, a setback and indisputable there. But that is one of those stocks really getting pummeled, actually down 21.5% right now.
We got to save some time for Cracker Barrel because I don't understand.
There's always time for that.
I don't understand the discourse here around this logo change, which is just has hit the stock so hard.
It really has. And I mean, I'm from the South. I've lived in New York for 15 years.
Is there anything more emblematic of the world we live in when, offspring of politicians are getting involved in this logo dispute with a company?
It's true. And I always thought about, when I'd be in the highways in Texas where you'd see kind of the rolling sort of the chairs they had outside the business.
Same in Virginia.
Right, exactly. But you did see this. So specifically the ticker symbol for Cracker Barrel, CBRL on this, and it's down actually 8% right now, on pace for its worst day since June 10th. But also it's been on a string of losses right now. So extending those declines to a fifth straight day. So there's a wave of course, Tim was talking about that wave of social media posts surrounding that recent logo change there and really kind of disrupting a lot of this. So the restaurant operator actually issued a statement back on August 19th. So that would have been on Tuesday, announcing that it would be launching a new campaign featuring country music performer Jordan Davis, while also tweaking its logo. So a little bit different here, probably unexpected for people. To Tim's point, a lot of people jumping in on this. And then Cracker Barrel actually was one of the top trending tickers on StockTwits. So among
I believe it.
Kind of the retail crowd as well talking about this. So Cracker Barrel didn't immediately reply to a request for comments for reporters that are on that story right now. But it's an interesting move here, and especially just given not even just today's losses, but the string that it's been on for a while.
I will say Michael Halen of Bloomberg Intelligence, he's a senior analyst. He says he does not expect Cracker Barrel to experience a prolonged negative reaction. Worries that the misinformation on social media and concern about the post will result in a situation similar to what happened with Bud Light are, quote, unfounded, according to a recent note that he wrote.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.